Napalm mit When All Is Said and Done. Bei denen hatten wir auch das Vergnügen, sie interviewen zu können. Eine fantastische Band, sehr sympathischer Menschen, die auch auf der Bühne eine fantastische Show abgeliefert haben. Also ich war begeistert. Ich muss es so sagen.
Einer der Gewinner, wir hatten letzte Woche eine Verlosung und von den Tickets. Einer der Gewinner hat mir erzählt, dass er findet, dass Napalm das auf CD wie ein Witz klingt, wenn man sie erstmal live gesehen hat. Er meinte, dass er so eine live macht und so laut und großartig. Also.
Ich dachte schon, der Satz ging anders aus.
Nee, gar nicht. Er war sehr begeistert.
Ja, und man muss ja dazu sagen, dass aus Wünnstock mit, wir haben es eben gehört, 1000 Besuchern in Bad Württemberg, einer relativ kleinen Stadt, ein relativ kleines Festival ist. Dementsprechend relativ klein ist nun mal auch die Bühne. Aber was die aus dem Raum rausgeholt haben, das war großartig. Also wirklich, sowas Präsentes und dann auch noch sowas Lautes und Wildes, fantastisch. Und die haben sich ja wirklich keine Ruhepause gegönnt. Die haben einen Song gemacht, dazwischen Shoutout und dann ging es weiter. Ganz groß. Also was die fertig gewesen sein müssen. Na gut. Wir haben sie nicht nur auf der Bühne gesehen, sondern auch Backstage und hatten die Möglichkeit, mit ihnen zu reden. Davon hört ihr jetzt Teil 1. Right now I'm backstage at the Wünnstock Festival with Barney from Napalm. You've just been playing. How did it go?
Yeah, it was all right, man. Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, no problems, you know, all went fairly smoothly. So, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, bear in mind there probably should be a little bit of chaos and make up your own mind, you know.
You guys are actually one of the bands of my youth, a huge influence on me. I'm humbled to sit right here next to you. Are you aware of the role you and the music you play are playing in people's lives?
Well, I mean, people say all kinds of stuff to us, as I'm sure they do to other bands. But I mean, you know, really, quite simply, all we're doing, is putting the music and the ethos out there. It's our standpoint, you know. I'm going to put it on the table. People can either choose to maybe get some kind of inspiration from it or not. You know, either way, I'm still going to put it on the table. So, I mean, I you know, in terms of playing a role, I don't know if I really do play a role. You know, it's just because what I don't want to be someone's kind of puppet master. You know what I mean? That's all this stuff about role models that you always hear. You know, all these commentators, it's bullshit, you know what I mean, really, you know. I'd like to encourage people to think for themselves, you know. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to throw stuff at them, but the whole idea is to use this, you know, in every situation so you can get a wide perspective.
What's more important to you when making music, sending a message or simply making music?
It's everything. You know, I mean, sometimes people say, yeah, well, it's more important to put their message across. Well, then go do it from a soapbox, you know, from a box in the middle of the street, you know, and speak on a corner. Music also should be entertainment. There's nothing wrong with that, you know, it should be entertaining. That's why every band works so hard on making music and stuff because, you know, you like it first and foremost and hopefully other people will like it, you know, so.
Grindcore isn't the world's most popular genre. The highest charts position you've entered as a band here in Germany is 60.
Yeah.
Why do you think Grindcore has never become mainstream? And why is it music such as yours at the margin of the music business?
It probably scares a lot of people. You know, I know that sounds stupid, but it probably does, you know. They hear it, it has such a noise factor to it. It probably intimidates a lot of people. When the real irony about that is that most of the stuff is really peaceful lyrics, you know, and it's all about tolerance and, you know, and thinking for yourself, you know, and not being a sheep, if you know what I mean. And so it's actually, in some ways, I guess, it's quite positive, you know, but just the general sound of it, just the noise, just probably intimidates people. But, I mean, chart positions, I mean, yeah, of course, I can't pretend that when, like, Century Media tell us, oh, you know, you're in the German charts or this show, it's like, oh, okay, cool, you know. But it's not an incentive for me to make music. It has no bearing on the music that I make, you know. If it gets there by its own means, by not making a compromise, then okay, you know, whatever.
Das war der Barney von Napalm, der ist im ersten Interviewteil. Ein großartiger Mensch, der mehr kluge Sachen gesagt hat, als ich in meinem ganzen Studium bisher gelernt habe. Fantastisch. Für die unter euch, die weniger gut Englisch verstehen können, beziehungsweise Probleme hatten mit den Aufnahmen, was dann auf meine Kosten ginge. Er hat so viel über sich erzählt, es ist kaum zusammenzufassen. Auf jeden Fall Kernelemente davon sind ganz klar, dass er gesagt hat, er als Sänger, Napalm Death als Band, sind nicht die Helden, sind nicht die Idole, für die sie ab und zu vergöttert werden. Es sind Grindcore-Legenden, aber nicht mehr. Es sollten immer noch Menschen sein. Und diese Autonomie, die sie jedem Fan abverlangen, die kam auch live sehr gut rüber. Er hat immer wieder zwischendurch Ansagen gemacht. Intelligente Ansagen, nicht nur sowas wie wir sind hier auf dem Wünnstock und jetzt macht mal was, sondern tatsächlich politische Aussagen. Dazu mehr im zweiten Interviewteil.
One of your shout-outs was to independent music as a concert. When you started your career, has independent music such as punk and grindcore been the same like nowadays?
Well, it's evolved like many other things in music, you know. Independent music has different forms now, you know. But essentially, the feeling of it is still the same for me, you know. I mean, we've achieved as a band a lot more when we've been involved with independent entities than otherwise, you know. So there's a lot to be said for it, you know. There really is, and you know, I have, you know, moving into sort of more corporate or major like areas, I have no interest in. It doesn't serve a purpose to this band, you know. Down all the years when you make comparisons about sometimes when those things were on the fringes, close to us, it never did us any good, you know. We always had a much better go of things when independent people were around us, and we ourselves were kind of doing things for ourselves, you know.
Sorry to say that Napalm Death and grindcore are in the position they belong.
Well, we are what we are. If we get if we get different places, then we'll do it on our own terms. No, we won't like make ourselves more friendly to something or other. I'm not interested in doing that, you know. So,
given the many member changes along the way, is it justified to still call yourself Napalm Death when no founding member is still with you?
Look, it's very simple. I thought this music was all about the product of what you do, not who's in it, you know what I mean? If you make a good band's a good band, doesn't matter who the members are, you know? So we've been playing the Napalm Death songs from start to finish for 20 plus years now. The members before that did great things in laying the foundations of the band, no question. But us, the members that are in now, have been playing that stuff. We never neglected that stuff. We always played it because it's part of the band. So we've actually arguably done more to represent that stuff than the members before did, times 5, you know. If somebody were to ask me that question that you did, I'd say, well, look how long we've been around now. How are we not representative of what Napalm Death is? And therefore, why shouldn't we be Napalm Death, you know?
Napalm Death has released 15 studio albums by now. You've played countless shows. Have you ever thought about stopping or trying anything else?
Of course, we thought not about trying anything else, but I've thought about stopping. Yeah, of course, like everything in life. You have doubts. You have times when you're not feeling it, you know. But in the end, we always came together as a unit and decided that we wanted to continue, you know.
Raufaser, das harte Format.
Das war der zweite Teil vom Napalm Death Album. Im Anschluss daran On the Brink of Extinction vom zweitneuesten Album Time Waits No Slave von Napalm Death, den sie auch live gespielt haben, der meiner Meinung nach auch sehr gut funktioniert hat. Was sie natürlich auch live gespielt haben, war der Klassiker Suffer. Im Guinness-Buch der Weltrekorde meines Wissens nach immer noch der kürzeste Song der Welt mit knapp einer Sekunde. Und lyrisch, glaube ich, nicht mehr umfassend als genau den Songtitel. Also eine Band, die sich nicht viel aus Länge macht, wie man bei Grindcore erwarten würde, sondern mehr aus Inhalt. Dazu mehr im dritten Teil des Interviews.
Much of the world sucks, we know that, and your music covers a huge part of what's going wrong, like homophobia, capitalist exploitation, repression of minorities. What chance does music...
It's much wider than that. I mean, you can pick out single things, but it's much more than that, you know. I mean, the world is vastly unequal, and the problem is that the mindset is that some people are less deserving of others than dignity, than living a harmonious existence, and that shouldn't be. You know, everybody always talks about civilized world. Well, what's civilized about some people being naturally lesser than others? You know, I mean, the whole world is out of balance. You know, and it's not just. We could talk about a whole list of single issues, but it's always much more than that. You know, and we do have a danger sometimes of picking one or two or three things out. But you're not achieving anything by just tackling those things. It's about a bigger thing, you know. It's about a mentality as well, you know.
What chance of changing anything does music have?
Well, who knows? That's how long's a piece of string, you know what I mean, as a saying in England. How long's a piece of string? Well, a piece of string could be any length. I don't know, but it doesn't stop me from trying, you know. I know that when we play gigs, and not just Napalm, but other bands like us, people like what we say. They get something from it, to whatever degree. It doesn't matter, even if it's that much, tiny amount, then that's something, you know. If they get nothing from it, okay. Everybody's different, you know. So at least we're giving it a go. At least we're trying, you know what I mean.
If you do die and actually go to heaven, who's the...
Don't believe in it. I'm absolutely don't believe in it. Yeah.
But anyway, if it would happen, who would be the one person you'd like to give a high five?
Oh, Jesus. Probably like Charles Darwin. But not just him, there were other people as well who were doing the same as what he was. But I think that in terms of the understanding of the essence of life, you know, he nailed it, you know. When you look back at his books from 150, 160 years ago, whatever, he was so on the nail, I think, of what life and evolution was a very, very important moment in time, the realisation, you know, of what was life, the transitions of life and existence, you know, and adaptability, you know, him, you know, probably.
Thank you so much for the interview.
All right, no worries, thank you.
Hi, ich bin Robert vom Blattwerk und ihr hört Raufaser bei Lunico.
Das war der dritte Teil des Interviews und wir haben es gerade gehört, der Darwin ist eine bemerkenswerte Persönlichkeit, jemand, der die Essenz des Lebens verstanden hat, zumindest wenn man dem Barney von Napalm, der es Glauben schenken kann, und man kann sich vorstellen, wie begeistert so jemand wäre, wenn er merkt, dass andere Leute das, was Darwin gesagt hat, in so Ideologien umbauen wie der Stärkere hat das Recht, den Schwächeren zu unterdrücken. Naja, was soll man dazu noch sagen? High Five dem geben auf jeden Fall. Also, wenn man stirbt und dahin kommt, warum nicht? Das war jetzt eine ganze Menge harte Musik und harter Inhalt vom Wünnstock 2013. In der zweiten Stunde geht's weiter. Wir berichten weiter über das, was so passiert ist. Wir haben noch ein paar Interviews für euch, ein paar O-Töne und natürlich ganz viel Musik vom Festival dabei, von den Bands, die gespielt haben. Das war erstmal...